Hello and welcome to another episode of the Organic Adventure Show. I'm your host, Cy Rodriguez, and today I wanted to talk about becoming the master and developing your own technique. To become a master of something, of course, you have to practice. And in practicing, you develop basic skills. What happens with people a lot of times over time is they get stuck in a certain way of doing things, and they constantly are looking to the teacher or master to tell them how they should do something. And at some point, a good master or teacher is going to say that you have learned the basics, now you have to understand what those basics were teaching you and develop your own style or technique. I was thinking about this because of the things that I've done over time, and exercise in general and then a certain form of qigong are things that I've done for a long period of time. And in doing those things, I developed my own technique and broke free from the dogmas and ways of thinking about those things that I was taught. What I used to be was afraid to do something different, for example, with a meditation that I was taught, because I was afraid that if I didn't do the meditation the way that I was told exactly, then I might end up somehow hurting myself or my energy would be off. So I stuck to the technique. But over time, I didn't have as much time, and sometimes I would have to stop in the middle of a meditation and not be able to complete every step of what I was taught to do. And I would worry about it a little, and over time I realized, you know what? I don't really think this is affecting me in a negative way. In fact, it was freeing at the point where I realized I had an understanding that was deep enough to develop my own style from the original technique that I had learned. So this is what life is about, is learning something in a very basic way and following those basics until you get to the point where you feel confident enough to go out on your own and use what you learned in a unique way. And saying all those things, I don't want to continue on with my own words. I'm going to give you some words from one great master whose name was Bruce Lee, who my father was taught a specific type of martial arts from called Wing Chun and Jeet Kune Do. Now, Bruce Lee, his name, I want to read to you a little bit from some of Bruce Lee's words. Bruce believed that there were 3 stages of learning. Learn, to consciously learn a technique, apply, to practice the technique until you can successfully apply it. 3. Dissolve, when the technique becomes automatic, a part of you. So the dissolve part is letting go of what you learned and making something unique to yourself. Bruce referred to rigidly structured martial arts systems as exercises in futility, organized despair, and the classical mess. Practice seriously, not goofing off, seriously studying and learning. But don't seriously practice. No long faces. Feel the joy in it. Bruce would often say, I am only the guide. The fingers pointing to the moon. Don't keep looking at the fingers. The moon is beautiful. You should be striving to see that. There is no such thing as maturity. There is maturing. You should always be improving, always moving toward a never-ending perfection. Bruce did not consider Jeet Kune Do, way of stopping a fist, a style. He thought of it as a method of self-discovery. He didn't want anyone to make a big deal about the name, because that's all it was. Later on, he was even sorry he named it at all. Jeet Kune Do was like a boat to get you across a river. Once you reached land, he didn't want you to carry the boat on your back. The idea was to continually progress. I hope that my thinking on the art will help you in your training or in choosing what is beneficial and what is futile. Then use your common sense to see what is the real thing and what is merely lessons in routine. to me, Kung Fu is so extraordinary because it is nothing at all. Kung Fu is simply the direct expression of one's feeling with minimum lines and energy. Every movement being so of itself without the artificialities of which 99% of all masters tend to complicate. Always remember that the closer to the true way of Kung Fu, the less wastage of expression there is. The art is the expression of the self. So, summing things up, just wanted to share this little insight with you to take with you in your life to do what it is that you are doing the best that you can do, and to be able to let go of the teachings and develop your own style. So thank you so much for listening, and may every day be an adventure in health.